everybody.
Scooch together. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. And thank you so much for joining us. This is our first streaming of the Glove Lab. Woo! About anything glove related, essentially. Today is glove ripping. And we're just going to wait a minute to see who else can join. If you have any questions, let me know. I think we're getting...
Yeah, we'll wait a few minutes just in case somebody's computer is not cooperating.
Yeah, which could be ours as well. So.
Yeah, if you're having one of those mornings, that just happens. It might be a 2-cup of coffee morning.
Yes, definitely. All right.
All right, well, we're glad you're here. Hoping you love gloves as much as we do.
Yes, as excited. Okay, we have some people here. We're gonna wait till maybe one after, and we'll see. But again, if anyone who's here, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat, and we will get to them once we finish our little spiel for the day. Okay. I think mine is working. We're looking pretty blurry over here. Hopefully we're not that blurry for everyone else. Let us know if we are.
All right, feel free to put it in the chat, Kimberly.
We are blurry. Okay, so we are this blurry.
Let me see if I have some settings here. I don't think I can control
the blur,
the pixelation there, or the quality. Customization. All right. Well, maybe it's just going to take a little bit for.
That's okay.
Everybody to start.
Hopefully,
all the bots to start tracking us.
I know. Hopefully, everyone can hear us.
That's right. We'll look better.
Yeah, with the pixels. Okay, let's get started. Again, thank you everyone for coming and being part of our first Glove Lab live stream. Our goal is to make this a casual conversation. We want to share information and have a space for people to be able to ask questions, whatever they might need to get clarified. So again, ask your questions in the chat anytime, and make sure to subscribe to our channel because we will be doing this every month. That's our plan. And we would love to stay up to date with you as well.
Yes, and let's do introductions first in case you guys aren't familiar with us. We are Eagle Protect. We're the world's first certified B Corp disposable glove and clothing specialist. We're very proud of that. In a nutshell, that means that we use our product to do the best we can throughout the entire supply chain, from the people that manufacture to the people that use our gloves, the disposal of our gloves. We try to do the best we can throughout the whole supply chain and everybody that's affected by our gloves. So we try to be a good company, and we're proud to be certified that we've hit those standards. And we're working to improve. We actually just got recertified.
Woohoo!
And our score increased, so we're super proud of that. What makes us a bit unique is that we did develop Delta Zero, which is our proprietary glove quality testing program, which is also very unique to us in the industry. So we feel like we're trying to set ourselves apart a little bit and do things a little bit different.
And Eagle, just a bit more background, started in New Zealand, and then they opened an office in the US in 2016. So we work actually out of South Lake Tahoe. So we're all in Tahoe right now.
We're up in the mountains. Yeah.
So if you are coming from a different spot, we always love hearing that. We love knowing where our subscribers are from. So leave it in the chat or in the comments later on. It's always fun to know.
Yes. All right. Let's see if anybody answers.
Question. How long? Okay, we got a question.
Ooh,
Great.
We got a question. Thank you.
Perfect.
All right. Well, let's introduce ourselves then.
Okay.
I'm Sarah. I grew up in North Dakota, so I'll apologize for my accent. My O's still stick. I am working to get rid of that, but I'm not sure I'm ever going to be able to kick that one too much. I've worked at Eagle Protect for about 7.5 years now. So I have never in my life thought I'd wake up caring so much about disposable gloves. But for being such a simple product, there's actually a lot to know. So that's where it's kept it interesting. So it's great. And this is my sidekick, Ashley, who will be helping me today.
Hello, everyone. I am Ashley. I am newer to Eagle Protect and to the Tahoe area. I moved from the Bay Area about a year ago. And I've been with Eagle for 3 months.
Yeah.
And I love it so far. Great company. And I just recently got a cat. So now I have a cat and a dog in the house. It's quite chaotic. It's a lot of fun though. And then I am the person who monitors our social media. So if you are making comments, anything like that, I will be responding back to you. Sarah also as well. But yeah, so if you have any questions, problems, that'll be me. So
Yes, sometimes it's nice to know who's on the other side of the keyboard.
Yeah. Okay, so topic of the day is glove ripping.
Yes, this could be possibly the most infuriating thing about disposable gloves. We all need disposable gloves, but when they rip, it's just like, oh my God. Okay, so we're going to talk about why this happens and then 4 solutions to avoid this from happening. Okay, so let's start with why gloves rip. Did you want to tell them about our video?
Yes. Okay, so we are going to be posting a series, just diving a little bit deeper into this topic because we can't get into it in a full, hopefully not too long of a live stream. So we're going to have a 3-part video series coming out and it should be soon. And it'll basically cover what we cover here and a little bit extra. So tune into that.
So if you want to subscribe, that should be coming out hopefully in the next week or 2. And we'll get that out for you. But let's dive in. So why do gloves rip? This is actually a really easy question. The durability of the glove is directly proportional to the quality of the ingredients used to make the gloves. Because if you make a glove cheaper, a lot of times manufacturers will put cheap ingredients, some chemicals, things like chalk into their nitrile. And then that makes them have more nitrile. They can make gloves for cheaper, but we all went to grade school and know that chalk doesn't stretch.
Yeah.
So if I have chalk in my gloves, that's drastically going to increase the amount of ripping that you have in gloves. So the ingredients in the gloves and how they're made really, really, really affect the durability and the quality of the gloves.
Right. And if anyone has questions about that, again, you can drop it in the chat.
All right, but don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. There are 4 easy solutions we're going to talk about that can really help curb the amount of ripping that you have. Yep. Gloves are not indestructible. They're not never going to rip, but there's things you can do to really, really decrease the amount of ripping gloves that you have.
Right. Okay, so first is quality assurance in sourcing.
All right, so first, we would recommend that you check the supplier's website. They should have stringent quality standards in place. This should be something for us. It's a given. It's non-negotiable. It has to be there. So ours is the Eagle standard, and you can see everything that we do to make sure we have consistent quality gloves. This should be on the manufacturer's website. If it's not there, red flag.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So next, we're talking about the correct glove materials. Very important. We kind of went over it, but
yes, that is selecting the right material for the job that you're doing. Drastically affects the performance of the gloves. I have a few here with me. All right, so nitrile gloves are known for their durability, their resistance to ripping, things like that. So a nitrile glove is really good for tasks that are they need a little bit more durable glove. They're a little bit longer lasting glove.
Right.
This is going to be a higher priced glove than my next option of a polyethylene, but it's a great glove for things that you need just a little bit more strength and are using it for a little bit longer periods of time. We have a polyethylene glove here. It's a little bit more in the office. We affectionately call these the subway gloves. These are the ones that you use. It is a plastic glove. A polyethylene is a plastic, so it's a little bit different than the nitrile gloves, but it's still a good option for when it needs to be used. It's used for light food handling, light food processing, some industrial use. If you're doing light cleaning, we would recommend using this for no more than a minute or two. So let's say if you're making a sandwich and then you have to go to the till and handle money. So you make the sandwich, take off the gloves, you put on another glove.
Right.
You go through a lot more of these. So it's totally fine to use the polyethylene glove for these shorter periods of time.
Right. So we do have a video that explains a little bit more about the different glove materials and kind of the use cases for each of those gloves.
Yeah. And that one will touch on latex too and stuff like that. So if you have questions about that, did you want to give them the link for that one?
Yes, here, I can give it right now.
And we can give the link. It dives a little bit deeper into that. In general, people kind of know what gloves they like to use, but sometimes there is a little different. If you haven't seen one or felt one, what the different materials are actually like and what they're for and how they stretch and things like that. All of them are a little bit different in the different protections of it.
Okay, so I just put that in the chat. So that's glove materials, and you can give that a watch. So the next solution is correct glove sizing. This is very important. It seems maybe self-explanatory, but Sarah will go over it.
Yes, so this is a big deal, and it does seem very simple, but we actually find a lot of purchasing departments, and it's no fault of their own. Purchasing, they have to manage
so much,
50 billion SKUs.
Yeah, crazy.
Okay, so it's easy for them to have gloves on a shelf. Let's say they have mediums and larges, and that's what they have because they have different size hands, and so they have a couple there. But if your crew has different size hands and they don't fit correctly, this can actually add to the ripping that you're seeing down on the floor. And I'm gonna try to show here. Yeah, we're gonna try. We're both mediums, so this could be interesting. So this is a extra small. All right. So when you put it on,
if you can.
Oh my God. So you can see that there's a lot more stretch on the glove that needs to be. Proudly, these are sensitive and they're really freaking durable. But it's a lot more stress on the hand. If a glove is too small, a lot of times you'll see that the cuffs are gonna rip and I'm sorry, I can't even rip it. They'll do that. So the cuff is gonna rip off. And that's because if it's too small, you're really putting extra torque on that glove that just doesn't need to be there. But the other thing that people generally don't think about is if a glove is too big, it can also lead to increased ripping. Because this one, okay, it's a double X, it's a little big. But you can see I have all this extra material here. It just kind of like, it's out there. It can snag on things. If I'm handling things, it can handle on corners, it can cut. So there's a lot more chance for this to rip and snag just because of the extra material. And then also at the ends of my fingers, I don't know if you can see this quite right, but I have extra material here at the ends of the fingers where as I'm grabbing things, it can also catch and snag. So a lot of times you'll think of too small of gloves, but actually having too big of gloves can actually, be a problem and add to the ripping that you're seeing. So that might be something that you want to look into if you need to have a few more sizes available on the floor.
So the next one as well, it's also seems a little self-explanatory, but it is glove thickness. So number 4, glove thickness.
And this one's a little bit tricky, and I feel like I'm totally not going to answer your question on this one because there's a total gray area in the thickness of a glove. I'll start by saying the thickness of a glove does affect the strength of the glove. The thicker the glove, the stronger the glove. But the one caveat is what matters more is the quality of the ingredients. If they're a really low quality ingredient, if I have a thin glove that doesn't stretch, if I make it thick, it's still not going to stretch. So a thicker glove doesn't always necessarily mean a stronger glove. If you have good quality ingredients that do stretch, adding thickness does add durability to the glove, but you need to have the quality ingredients. So there's kind of that gray area of thicker is stronger, but you need a good glove. And we will say that in general, we actually do see a lot of people in the industry that are using a thicker glove than they actually have to. And adding a thicker glove can add a lot of stress to the hand and the forearm muscles that your staff have and actually lead to some issues there.
You never think of that.
Yeah, no, not at all. And it's something that kind of goes under the radar until you start having issues with it. But the thicker the glove can be a little bit more durable. Let's say somebody's in sanitation. They're cleaning the floors. they have scrub brushes, they have chemicals, they're in drains, they're in pipes. That takes a lot more of a glove than somebody that's watching candy bars go by on a conveyor belt.
Right.
So it really depends on what you're doing for the thickness needed. And for this, I would say if you are a business, suppliers will do commercial trials. And so they'll be willing to work with you. That helps with the fit and the sizes. That helps with a couple different mill thicknesses. Try one. You don't want to be using too much of a glove. That just wastes your money. We do not want to waste your money. But you want a glove that works and is not ripping all the time, because that also wastes your money.
Right.
So if you try them out, make sure they work. Contact the supplier. And a lot of times they'll do a commercial trial, and that helps.
Yeah. And I know that we have kind of worked with and helped with Nature's Bakery. If you can give backstory on that.
That's a great example. Nature's Bakery that makes the fig bars, they were having a problem with their gloves ripping. And they were getting some customer complaints that they were finding these rubber pieces of gloves in their fig bar, which is a great fig bar, but that's a little chewy fine taste, you know? So you don't want to have that in there. And so the supplier had told them, well, we use a thicker glove. Your gloves are too thin, you need a thicker glove. But they were still having ripping issues. And then they came to us and we tried out a few different gloves. And I believe they use our sensitives now, and they have taken care of the issues, and they don't have the customer complaints. And it's just, it makes operations a lot smoother if you're not changing your gloves all the freaking time.
Right. And they're not breaking on you, contaminating your food, doing the whole thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So that did it. That answered the question. That was good.
Okay. A little gray area in there.
Okay. So to cover all aspects of glove ripping, we do have a bonus solution.
The
bonus solution. And that is third-party testing.
Yes.
So.
And this is our shameless plug. But get this. The consistent glove quality in the glove industry was such a problem. It is such an issue that we had to create our own glove testing program. We have a great suppliers. We have a great supply chain. We do everything right, but we developed a testing program. So when our gloves come over, we're the only company that lot tests our gloves when they arrive to the US to actually prove that our gloves are what they say they are. They haven't changed the ingredients. It's going to be the superior durability. It's not going to be covered in microbes. It's not like, we just make sure that it's a good glove. And so we developed this just so our customers could have a guarantee and have that, you know, the peace of mind.
Yeah.
I guess otherwise there's no way to know. You just have a box on the shelf and you don't know what's inside. So this is our guarantee to show that we're doing the right thing.
Right.
So all of our gloves are processed the same way. They're made the same way, to the same high standards. But at the same time, we're the only glove company that does this, which is a little sad to us. But we're trying to elevate the industry, and we're hoping that other companies step up their game and start making safer gloves and really help the food industry, which is held to an incredibly high standard.
Right. So it would make sense that we would do this.
Yeah. And we feel that the glove industry should be held to the same stringent standards that everybody else is.
Right.
That's only fair.
The other thing that could be great for people to have as a resource, we have a Delta Zero video that Sarah has already made. So you can check that out. I'm trying to find it, and I will put it in the chat here.
We can put it in. It dives a little bit deeper into it. It's a different layered testing program with a lot of different scientific tests. It's a lot of big words in there. But it's a series of tests that check all different aspects. So they kind of cross over each other, and it just makes sure that it's the exact same glove every single time.
Right. Okay. So that is, there you have our 4 plus spiel bonus, 4.5 solutions to keep your gloves from ripping.
Yeah, we did have a couple questions, I think, pop up in the chat.
Yes, we do. So let's see.
Sorry, we got to get real close and personal here to read the screen.
We're like coming in. Okay, so we had one up here. Thank you for both everyone who put a comment in here. Okay, so how long, Sarah, can I wear disposable gloves? Thank you, Kimberly, for leaving that comment.
That's a great question. Again, it's a little bit of a fuzzy gray area that I'll answer the best we can, because there's some variables. And so it depends on what you're doing and what glove you're wearing. So it's kind of when I talked about the materials of the glove. If you're wearing a polyethylene glove, it's going to be a minute max. It could be 10 seconds to a minute too, but it's a shorter period of time. If you're wearing a nitrile glove, it also depends on what you're doing. And the shape the glove is in.
Mm,
If you snag a glove, rip a glove, cut a glove, change it right away because the glove then is compromised and it's not going to do
right.
anything.
It's not.
But
Yeah.
if you're just, like I was talking before, watching a conveyor belt with straightening out candy bars, and you're not doing anything that's going to be damaging the gloves, an hour, depending on your shift and things like that, a nitrile glove will last in that situation. You just got to be cognizant of how hard you're being on the gloves and then make sure that they haven't been compromised.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I hope that answers your question. And then we got another one from Marvel Nerd, same. Do your visible black nitrile gloves rip easily?
Ooh.
We got a question about this. I wonder if this is the same person because we got one on YouTube.
Black visible. I'm not gonna lie. I freaking love these gloves. I love them. These are the ones I steal from at my house when I'm gardening. Oh my God. I don't even need those big leather gloves anymore. These are freaking fantastic.
Okay. We got a comment that was pretty similar on YouTube. I don't know if this was you or not, but how durable black visible and blue 52 when you put them on. So we do have both readily available.
Yes. So I have the black visible. This is our 6 mil glove. It does have a slight texture on it, which is going to be a little bit different than the glove Ashley has on. So mine's a 6 mil, hers is a 5 mil. So hers is going to be a little bit thinner. Same high quality, just like we were talking before, that the thicknesses are a little bit different. For the black viz, this glove is like, you can try to get it in the camera here. I can, it is
I'm trying to get it over here.
really good. Okay, so this one, if you pull on the cuff, the palm, and then another way is on the finger. Another way to check the strength of a glove. Those are kind of good places to check if the durability of it. I don't have a screwdriver with me. I hope this doesn't break all over myself.
The highlighter.
But if you do put it in here, a good test, I mean, it's like, watch it pop you in the face. Yeah. It's a great glove. That's where we do have thicker gloves, but this glove can really, really withhold a lot. I love this glove. It is a good one. It's super durable. It also depends on what you're using it for. So, and then if there's sharp objects, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of variables that go into if the glove would work for you, but our 6 mil is
pretty good.
I can't swear. Freaking fantastic. Fantastic.
And it looks like they responded, yes, that was me. Are they perfect for food handling? Are these the food handling ones?
It depends on what you're doing for food handling. We do sell the visibles into food handling. I would say it's a little bit, the more intense processes, like maybe if they're processing meat, if they're doing something that's a little more hands-on, you need that durability, things like that. For our normal processing, I would say usually the 3 to 5s are probably more common. And our 2.6s are actually a very, very durable glove too, which they sound crazy thin, but they are a good glove for that. It really depends. Do you mind sharing what kind of food handling that you're doing?
Yeah.
That could be, there's just a little bit of different, I guess, the factors in there of how much stress is going to be put on the gloves.
Right.
They're fantastic for food handling, but I think they may be too much of a glove if you're just doing traditional food handling.
Well, if you're, as we wait for that response, we can move to a question.
If you like the black, I would recommend looking at our Dermas. It's a fantastic glove. They're super soft. It's a 3 mil, so it's actually half that thickness. And it's just when it comes to cost, it's going to save you in cost. I think the visibles might be too much of a glove for you.
Okay. And then they said mostly traditional food handling. So that would make sense.
I would say the Dermas would be a great place to start. And then you could go a little bit thinner or thicker. We do have one on each side, but the Dermas or Fine Tufts are probably the place to start for you.
Okay. Hopefully that helped. And let us know if you have any more questions. All right. Justine, do I need to wash my hands before wearing gloves?
Ooh, the hygiene.
Yes.
All right. So it depends on what you're doing. If you're a mechanic fixing my car, I'm not sure you need to wash your hands before you put on your gloves. But when it comes to wearing gloves, I would say the vast majority of the time contamination matters, and that's why you're wearing the glove.
Right.
So if there's ever a time when contamination matters, yes, you should wash before and after wearing your gloves.
Okay, perfect. Good to know. So I did get some questions that were submitted to us. Oh, I think we got another one. We're going to do this one. Okay. Another question. If a glove supplier doesn't third-party test, does that mean the gloves will rip easily? Oh, good question.
Oh, that is a good question. If they don't third-party test, It doesn't mean for sure that the gloves are going to rip easily. The third-party testing just verifies and it lets you know how they're made. I would say the one thing about disposable gloves that really is kind of sucks. There's no ingredients on the side of the box. If I'm going down the grocery aisle, I know exactly what's in there. I know how they made it. I know what I'm eating. When it comes to gloves, I don't know what they put in there. So I would say the best way to, well, if you have to guarantee and know for sure, yes, third-party testing would be the way where we have the certificates, we can prove it, we can do everything by the book and fill up your file cabinet. But if it comes to other gloves, then we would recommend trying them. That's probably the best way to do it because there are some good gloves out there. There are people making good gloves. Ours is just the only one where we feel like we give that warm, fuzzy guarantee because we check.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that we're the only supplier that they're not going to rip easily. But I would also say that there's probably a larger majority of cheap, crappy gloves out there than really good gloves.
Right.
Don't risk it.
Yeah. Yes.
Nobody needs
we can help. Okay. So these are questions that I got from social media. So these were prior to our live stream, which is great. Okay. The first one is, how should disposable gloves be stored?
Oh, okay. Good question. Reaching back into the storage shed for that one. Most manufacturers would recommend that you store gloves. They can be stored up to 5 years from the manufacturing date. And usually that's stamped on the box. So for ours, you can see on the back of the box, we're going to have the manufacturing date there. So from 5 years from manufacturing is what we would recommend for that. And then you want to store it in a cool, dry place. You don't want it in direct sunlight and you don't want really high temperatures or humidity. So just be nice to them.
Right. Take care of them. Okay. So this is a hot topic. Can I wear jewelry under disposable gloves?
Oh, somebody has a manager that wants them to take this stuff off. For when it comes to jewelry, the reason you're not supposed to wear jewelry under the disposable gloves is when you put them on, it really gives it a sharp edge to rip and snag. So it increases the likelihood that your gloves are going to rip. So when it comes to jewelry, and those beautiful, long, fabulous nails, ladies, it's just a no.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yes.
Okay. So that comes to the end of the questions I received on social media. It looks like that's the end of the questions that we got in the chat. But again, if you have any questions at all, you can leave a comment under this video. It's going to be posted. You can leave a comment on social media, on our YouTube, anywhere, and we check it. We see it. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. This was our first The Glove Lab live stream.
So if you have a topic you want us to cover, let us know. We're going to try to do these monthly.
Yep.
So if there's something that you'd like to dive in a little bit further and explain a little bit more, they're very simple, but actually a very complex item. So let us know.
Yeah. And make sure you subscribe so you get the channel updates. And thank you again for joining us. The Glove Lab. Okay, bye, everyone.
See ya.